What happens when the face of your league steps off the court? The WNBA is finding out the hard way. After Caitlin Clark's shocking playoff exit, the league's viewership numbers have plummeted. Nearly 2 million fans tuned in to watch her first playoff game, but now that she's gone, the ratings have tanked.
Now, because I may not talk about the WNBA again until April.
Well, okay.
Trust me, I'm not going to be watching. I'm not going to be watching.
How bad? Try struggling to scrape 400,000 viewers for games that were supposed to matter. Clark wasn't just a player, she was the league's meal ticket, and now, with her out, the WNBA is back to irrelevance. The stark reality is clear. Caitlin Clark drew viewers like moths to a flame. Her electrifying presence on the court captivated fans, generating buzz that the WNBA had desperately craved for years. The moment her Indiana Fever exited the playoffs, that flame was extinguished, and the league is reeling from the aftermath. Let's not kid ourselves. The WNBA has been riding on Caitlin Clark's back all season long. Merchandise sales exploded by 450%. Ticket sales soared by 93%.
Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is, if the WNBA were continued to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did this year.
And arenas were packed just to see her in action. But now, crickets. The fever pitch is over, and the reality is settling in. Without Clark, the WNBA can't even come close to sustaining those numbers. ESPN analysts predicted this downfall the moment her team got knocked out, and now fans are abandoning the league faster than ever. Caitlin Clark's impact was undeniable. Before her arrival, the WNBA struggled to draw interest beyond a niche audience. Yet when she stepped onto the court, everything changed. Average viewership climbed by an astonishing 400%. If you ask any fan why they tuned in, the answer is simple. It was all about Caitlin. And now, with her exit, the league is left scrambling to keep fans engaged. Fans weren't tuning in for the teams, they were tuning in for her. Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever pulled in more viewers than multiple playoff series combined. While others barely made a blip, she was smashing viewership records.
They're not qualified for their jobs. And so they've allowed the Caitlin Clark abuse to go on and on and on while everybody pretends, oh, it's Caitlin Clark's fans. They're on Twitter and they're horrible. They focus on that rather than the real persecution and inappropriate behavior of their very own WNBA player.
Her debut playoff game alone attracted over 1.8 million viewers, while other games struggled to pull in a fraction of that number. Caitlin Clark wasn't just carrying her team, she was single-handedly keeping the entire league relevant. Now that she's out, who's left to hold the torch? The so-called stars of the WNBA? Please. None of them have proven they can attract the same attention. In an exclusive interview, fellow players weighed in on the situation. Caitlin brought a new energy to the WNBA that we haven't seen in years, said Aja Wilson, a two-time MVP and member of the Las Vegas Aces. Her ability to draw fans was incredible. It's a shame that when the playoffs came, we lost her so early. I think the league is going to feel that loss big time. Breanna Stewart, another superstar in the league, echoed Wilson's sentiments. Caitlin isn't just a player, she's a phenomenon. We need that kind of excitement in the league. Without her, I worry about the future of women's basketball. It's not just about the numbers, it's about the love for the game. The league had the chance to make Clark their poster girl, but instead, they let her get bullied and disrespected all season long. Players took cheap shots at her, fans targeted her online, and what did the league do? Absolutely nothing. They rewarded the bullies with titles and awards. This isn't just poor management, it's a catastrophic failure. Take the incident with DJ Carrington, for example. During a crucial game, Carrington delivered a cheap shot to Clark that left her with a black eye. Instead of suspending Carrington, the league awarded her the title of Most Improved Player. How is that for a slap in the face? The WNBA prioritized image over justice, leaving fans and players alike frustrated and outraged. In that moment, it felt like the league didn't care about protecting its own star, said former WNBA player Lisa Leslie. Caitlin was targeted, and instead of standing up for her, they let it slide. That sends a terrible message. If they don't protect their biggest draw, why should fans invest their time and energy? Let's face it, the WNBA is doomed without Caitlin Clark. Her rookie season was more than just impressive, it was historic. She shattered records, drew in new fans, and revolutionized women's basketball. Now that she's taking a well-earned break, the league is spiraling into irrelevance. What's left for the WNBA? A bunch of games no one cares about, with viewership numbers that are laughably low. The players are feeling it too. Every player in this league knows we need Caitlin. She brought a spotlight that we haven't had in a long time, said Seattle Storm guard Jewel Lloyd. Now it feels like we're back to being ignored by the media. I can't help but think about how different things would be if she was still in the playoffs. Many fans have expressed similar sentiments. Social media has been flooded with comments like, "If Caitlin isn't playing, I'm not watching," and "The WNBA isn't the same without her." This collective abandonment has left the league in a precarious position, struggling to retain interest as it desperately seeks to fill the void left by Clark's departure. In the wake of Caitlin's exit, it's evident that the WNBA is witnessing a dramatic unraveling of what could have been a golden era for women's basketball. With Clark leading the charge, the league experienced unprecedented growth, yet the moment she stepped off the court, the magic dissipated. The dream of a flourishing WNBA, propelled by a star like Clark, has turned into a nightmare for its executives and players alike. What's even more concerning is the league's apparent disregard for its own future. They had a golden opportunity to elevate the WNBA with Caitlin at the forefront, but they dropped the ball, said former player Sue Bird. "We can't afford to let our stars be disrespected like this. The fans deserve better, and so do the players." As the season unfolds without Clark, the WNBA is paying a steep price for neglecting its most valuable asset. While the league has made strides in the past few years, they risk losing all the momentum they built up under Caitlin's influence. The decline in viewership is a wake-up call, not just for the league, but for fans and players alike. "This isn't just about numbers," said Stewart. "It's about what Caitlin represented for women's sports. We need to rally around her and show the league that we care about the game and the players who make it special. The WNBA must step up and protect its stars, especially those who can draw in new audiences. If they don't, they may face a future where players like Clark feel undervalued and unsupported. That's a future no one wants to see." The ramifications of Caitlin Clark's exit extend far beyond the court. Her presence had a ripple effect that impacted merchandise sales, ticket sales, and overall fan engagement. With Clark now out of the playoffs, what happens to all of that momentum? In an interview with WNBA analyst Holly Rowe, she said, "We saw what Caitlin could do for the league, and now we're watching it all unravel. It's a stark reminder that the WNBA needs to get its priorities straight. If they can't support their stars, how can they expect fans to stick around?" Let's face it, the WNBA is staring down the barrel of a bleak future without Caitlin Clark. Her unique playing style, magnetic personality, and undeniable talent are irreplaceable.
The league versus Caitlin Clark, and that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the next level.
While the league hopes to promote other players, there's no denying the truth. No one can replicate the Caitlin effect. Fans are already turning away, and those who once watched the games religiously are now opting for other sports, especially with the NFL in full swing. What's next for the WNBA? Will they finally realize the error of their ways and change course before it's too late? "The league has a decision to make," said Leslie. "They can either double down on their stars or risk losing everything they've built."
I wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference, she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place, it's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one direction.
Caitlin isn't just another player. She's the future of women's basketball, and if they don't recognize that, they'll be left in the dust. Caitlin Clark's exit has exposed a harsh reality for the WNBA. Without her, they have nothing. The numbers don't lie. She was the league's one true superstar, and now that she's gone, the WNBA is crumbling. Will they ever recover? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure. Caitlin Clark's absence is a blow they may never come back from. It's a painful moment for fans, players, and the league itself. The excitement, the energy, the buzz, it's all gone. The WNBA had its golden opportunity, and they let it slip away. Now they're left counting the cost of neglecting their biggest star. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more brutally honest takes on the sports world. The future of the WNBA is uncertain, but one thing is clear. Without Caitlin Clark, the league's future looks incredibly bleak. Will they learn from this mistake, or will they continue down the path of obscurity?